Hey guys, Phil with Royal Range USA here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we're coming at you with something a little bit different. It's a folding Glock 19, specifically the full Conceal M3. Now these have been kind of out there for a while. There's been tons of different videos of it, but these are actually shipping. We have these for sale at Royal Range, and today we're going to spend some time just talking about it, some of the general features of it, kind of how it works within the pocket and how you can actually utilize this and implement it. And then we're gonna actually spend some time shooting this thing. We got one and we're gonna shoot it and really see how this thing does. So starting with some of the general features, of course everything is unloaded. The first and most obvious point is it folds in half. How did they do that? They cut it in half on the grip here right above the magazine release. And I'll take the magazine out here. And you can kind of see where they cut that and made that work. Pretty smart piece of engineering here. Cut it right above the magazine release, and it attaches to the top of the frame through this clamp on the back of the grip. And the grip length, so just kind of seeing it fold into place, that's how it folds into place. And I have to say, guys, when we brought these in, I was a little skeptical about quality build and how sturdy and how this thing would hold up. And I have to say that I'm pretty impressed. They've exceeded my expectation of what or how it would be built as far as quality. So that's a plus. And the engineering on it's pretty clever. You can see the frame here, kind of, I guess you would call it a lever of how it folds into the frame. It has the notches underneath, so it can kind of fold in on itself just like that. And the clever piece of engineering is how they did this trigger. Now the trigger, when you put the grip back into kind of user condition or ready to fire condition, it clips in and you can see that trigger folds up. And that's how obviously the grip is able to get so slim and fold like that. So the trigger is a pretty slick piece of engineering, and then it is spring loaded so it pops out, and then from there is pretty much in a ready to fire condition. So it ships with a Magpul 21 round magazine. And this is where I think this kind of has its niche, is in a very concealable high capacity compared to let's say like a single stack that a lot of people carry, like a 43, just because they can fit into a pocket or something like that. And I'll pull out a little 938. And this is kind of a backup gun. This is empty. This is just your standard plain Jane SIG 938. Single stack magazine, 7+1 capacity. So fantastic gun. I carry this as a backup gun and I love it. But just looking at size comparison, guys, I mean, putting this on top of a full size 19, well, not necessarily full size, but a 19 slide with a 21 round magazine, it's really not that far off as far as size. This is a iPhone, this is a 6, I believe, and so it's a little bit smaller, but you can kind of get an idea of how this would print or it would fit in your pocket. It's pretty clever, and it implements a lot faster than I thought it would. All of your, just talking a few more specs here, all of your internals as far as your trigger in your trigger pack and all your internals for the normal upper is the complete same. It looks like you could probably switch out the connector. I probably wouldn't recommend it. I would just leave it the way it is and just shoot it like this. But of course, it ships with that 21 round magazine, but it does take all your other ones. And one of the key things about this is it indexes every single time. And so what I mean by that is you have the magazine in, let's put the 21 round back in. To get this gun in a ready to fire condition, all you need to do is fold it. That's all you need to do. The clever bit is the magazine latch, a magazine release, catches the magazine and makes sure that your magazine is in the right position every single time. The only time you would ever get in trouble is if the magazine is below or not secured into the grip like you would a normal one. From there, obviously, it's not going to index and not load the gun. But if it's here all the way, it's going to index. If it's even halfway, it's still going to index. It's going to catch that magazine notch in the side of the magazine and push it where it needs to be. So pretty clever little piece of engineering. And It comes, like I said, 21. It fits all your normal magazines, your 17s, your smaller ones. I don't really see why you would, but this kind of idea is to have a larger capacity as far as ammunition in a smaller concealable package. That being said, obviously you can use the big stick mags for Glock. What we're gonna show you, actually I'll do that now. So we're gonna look at just how it kind of fits into the pocket. And we've tried this, of course, everything's still unloaded, guys. Let's start with the 21 round magazine. I'm wearing, this is a pair of pants called Mountain Khaki. It's a great pair of pants. I think these are like the 102s or 103s. I've had them for a couple years and they're one of the most comfortable pair of pants I have. But they have pretty deep pockets. So, I mean, you can fit quite a bit in the pocket. I actually normally carry a little pistol in the pocket as like a backup. But this is how we're gonna do this. So, I've decided, and we've tried this a bunch of different ways, that I actually prefer to carry it on my weak side, and I'll show you why. So I carry muzzle down. There's a couple different things, and guys have shown them carrying different ways, but that's kind of how it prints. So even kind of extended with the fabric being pulled taut, it really just looks like a giant phone, or maybe even a battery case, or a battery charger, or something like that. It's very low profile. And then to implement it, to kind of get it out, the reason I like it, I'm a right-handed shooter. I'm right-hand dominant, left-hand weak side. I like pulling it from the left hand because I can kind of reach my hand in my pocket, pull it out, and my hand is already in the general area of the slide. So all I have to do is kind of come up, meet it, and then there's two thought processes on here. It's completely mechanically sound, and I'll show you this. We'll have Colleen kind of come up close into the frame. When it's folded, that trigger folds up, and it's not going to fire the gun. The only time you would fire the gun, and we've tested this, is I'm applying pressure, applying pressure, applying pressure, right there. Right there is when that shot or that trigger is actually going to go off, is around here. So anything in here, and I've stuck stuff in here, screwdrivers, different things to try to get this gun to fire, and it doesn't. It's mechanically sound and mechanically safe from that standpoint. So in a folded position, you're not going to have to worry about this thing going off in your pocket. So kind of getting back to it, if you wanted to, you could carry it with one in the chamber, which mechanically I wouldn't be too opposed to, because there isn't really a way for that trigger to go off. Or you can kind of carry it Israeli style, an empty chamber, and then if you are carrying it from your weak side, your hand's already there, you can rack that slide and then kind of present. So really kind of up to you, whatever you guys are comfortable with, if that's something you're interested in. But it implements pretty quickly. Obviously, low profile. Come out with it, you're ready to go. So we're gonna get the range ready, we're gonna turn on the fans, get our eye and ear protection on, and then we're gonna spend some time shooting this gun. It shoots just like a 19. 26 size grip, it feels just like you're carrying a 26, but that extended magazine kind of fills in that pinky, so you still kind of have a full grip. And obviously you're shooting your 19 length slide. So let's load it up, shoot it a little bit, get some impressions on that, and just kind of run it through its ringer. Our goal is to put a couple hundred rounds through it and just kind of see how it feels. All right, guys, so before we start shooting this thing, let's talk about price real quick. So the full, complete gun is gonna be selling for around that $1,200 mark. And like I said, these are actually starting to ship and kind of get out on the market. So be looking for them, or ask your local gun shop. If you're in the Nashville area here at Royal Range USA, we do have a couple of these in stock. So come visit us if you're interested in trying it out, or buying one rather. And then they do actually have an option for just the lower. So you can buy just the lower if you already have the components for kind of a 19 length slide. And it can be in 40 also. You can fit that right on top of the slide, or right on top of the frame, the full Conceal frame. That's going to be selling for around the $900 mark from what I'm seeing as far as a market price of them. And they're starting to get out there, so that's pretty exciting. So let's spend some time shooting the gun. We've already shot it quite a bit, and it's pretty comfortable. Long term, if you're gonna carry this gun into a class or something like that, the only real kind of criticism that I would have is it's a little rough on your kind of the bottom of your middle finger underneath the trigger guard here, but that's to be expected, guys. This isn't designed to be the most comfortable gun. It's designed to be kind of an ultra deep carry type firearm, so for that purpose it works really great. But just to show you, there's some different magazines that you can utilize in this one, and we're going to start with just kind of your standard plain Jane. Nope, that's not it. This is it. I got magazines everywhere. This is a P-mag, and this is a 15 rounder. So just normal situation, that's how it locks in. We'll put the magazine in. So magazine all the way in. Doesn't go all the way up to the frame, but you're going to see it still indexes perfectly. Indexes perfectly, and then we got to load the gun. So there it is. And we'll just kind of shoot this one a little bit. So super close here, nothing spectacular. So shoots just like a 19, guys. The grip does feel a little bit like a 26. If you've ever shot one, your pinky kind of falls off on the mag, but it's really not that uncomfortable. So it does shoot the 15 rounders, but that's kind of dumb. We don't want those. The whole point of this is to do something larger. So let's break out the 21 rounder. Here we go. This is what it ships with, and this is really where I think this gun's gonna shine, is with the 21 round magazine. Let's fold it back up. Another just tip, after shooting this gun a little bit, this takedown bar gets pretty stiff. All you need to do is kind of take the pressure off that little linkage, and it loosens up, just like that. 21 rounder in, kind of put it into the fully enclosed position. And now we're actually gonna draw it from the pocket. At this point, the gun is empty, and we're gonna start with kind of like an Israeli style. So we're gonna do it on an empty chamber, draw it, rack the slide, and get a shot on target. I'm not trying to be lightning fast here, guys, just trying to be fluid and smooth. And let's see how it works. So get in the pocket here. Again, I'm drawing from my weak side. I've tried it both ways, and I'll show you guys. This is what I prefer. This is what I've found to be kind of the most smooth. So normal kind of situation, hand in a pocket, draw the gun out. Let's do it one more time. Take that tension off, fold it back up, and we'll do it on an empty chamber again. So gun's empty, put it back in the pocket, just like that. And when you go and reach this gun, this pant is kind of designed, you'll see the top of it kind of encloses on itself to keep stuff from falling out of your pocket. If you're gonna get this gun, I would truthfully try to find a pair of pants that would work well with this gun. Something that may have a little bit looser pockets and easier to get out. But when you reach into the pocket, use your hand to cover up some of those catch points. You can use your hand to kind of block that gun from being caught, pull the gun out, close, rack, shoot. So implementing it takes a little practice, but it can be pretty smooth. Now we're gonna do it with a loaded chamber. So chamber's loaded, and again, guys, it's your choice. my personal preference, if I would ever carry something like this, is gonna be muzzle down. I'm not gonna want that muzzle, especially with a loaded chamber, kind of pointing at any of my organs or my head, kind of the control center. I would rather shoot my foot or my calf or my leg of some sort. But again, mechanically sound, I don't see how that would possibly happen. Even still, a little bit of a mental thing. So loaded chamber, draw the gun out. So you can see kind of my muscle memory. I went to go rack the slide because my hand was just kind of naturally there. And then I remembered I don't need to do that. All right, one more time. Loaded gun, chamber's hot. Reach in the pocket, pull it out. So pretty quick. What do we got left? We got a couple rounds here. 21 rounds, guys. That's a lot of ammunition. Let's try it from strong side. So I'll let Colleen kind of walk in front of me or go behind me. And we'll go to strong side. Same thing. Loaded chamber. Got one in the pipe. Got a couple more rounds here. I think I only got 2 or 3. Another thing, you just saw that one, and we'll do it just as a test. we'll even put that round up a little bit. So let's say that round started to creep out of that magazine. We'll run it like that. Got one in the pipe. Still worked flawlessly. Didn't have any problems with it, and it worked pretty well. So the last thing, the big boys. I'm gonna do this on an empty chamber. There is a really fast way of doing this. And if you're gonna carry a 33 round magazine, you're gonna have to find some pants. I mean, these pants are pretty deep. I can fit my entire fist and it's a pretty deep pocket. But even still, this is gonna be muzzle up. So I am gonna try muzzle up, empty chamber. You put it in your pocket like that. That's still pretty hard to conceal. But let's try it this way. This is a pretty quick way of doing it. So with that 33 round magazine, so empty chamber, loaded magazine, you can kind of grip the magazine from here and fling it up. It catches in the bottom in your magazine catch, and then from there your magazine's seated. If you wanted to carry it with one in the chamber, you could shoot it, or you could just rack it kind of Israeli style. Another side note, this is a great example, is sometimes that trigger stays a little forward, but that's not that big of a deal. Empty chamber. With that trigger a little forward, all you have to do is kind of put your finger in there, and it kind of comes natural. But guys, let us know what you think of this this full Conceal M3 folding Glock 19. It's a pretty cool piece of kit, and I'm glad that they're actually out on the market. So come check us out at Royal Range if you're interested, and let us know what you think in the comments.